Welcome. This is the call for the O&O Academy and Jenny Carr Health, how to melt inflammation from your body. Hi, Natalie. How are you? Welcome. As you guys join, please feel free. I would love for you to say in the chats box where you're coming in from. So good to see you. We are going to begin in 15 minutes. So grab yourself a nice cup of water, get cozy, get a blanket, and we will begin soon. Thanks for coming. Welcome everyone. As you're joining, please find the chat box and let me know that you can hear me. Let me know where you're coming in from, and then grab yourself a nice big cup of water, cozy blanket. We will begin here in about 12 minutes. So excited to see all of you come in. Welcome, everyone. I am so excited to see people coming in as we speak. We have about 8 more minutes before our teacher, Kumarji, shows up. And so while you're waiting, make sure you've got a nice large cup of water. And I'm going to take my video off so I can say hello to all of you. Hello. So make sure you've got a cozy blanket, a nice cup of water. This is an experiential class that you have all signed up for, that you will be participating in. So definitely it's ideal if you have a quiet place to participate. We will be sharing some amazing teachings, learnings, and then guiding you through a few processes to help you melt inflammation from your body, melt stress from your body, and move into a beautiful state where you can experience incredible synchronicities in life. If you are listening, I'm going to ask that everyone put their phone or their computer on mute. So someone that is on the iPhone, if you're on the iPhone, please make sure you go on mute. I believe it's *9. If you can buy that before we start, that would be great. I would be. You never know when inspiration's going to start. Allison Bowling, I'm putting you on mute. And we will get going. If you have any questions before we begin, at the bottom of your screen, there's a little chat icon. Feel free to click on that. I will type in there. And feel free to ask any questions before we start or along the way. And I will field those to the senior faculty member who's walking us through this. You guys, the fact that you're here is such a gift, truly. This class, these teachings have been completely life-changing for me, and so I'm really excited to share more about that when we begin. 6 minutes and counting. Welcome, welcome. Welcome everyone who is just joining. We are so excited to have you here. I'm going to, if you can make sure you're muted, that would be most excellent so we can keep the noise down when Kumarji joins us. And we are beginning in 3 minutes, so make sure you've got a nice glass of water, a cozy spot to begin. And in 3 minutes, we are going to begin this amazing transformational call. I am so excited. I believe our fearless leader made it in. In about 2 more minutes, we will begin. If you haven't already muted yourself, if you would do that so that when we get going, there's no background noise. Make sure you have a nice glass of water, a cozy spot to listen to this call and really be present with the information, the teachings, and the processes that we are going to take you through, that Kumarji is going to take you through. I'm going to be participating with you. And I promise you will be so grateful to have a nice quiet spot. If you haven't already muted yourself, please do so. So Stephanie, Jenny, Donna, if you can hear me, if you mute yourself, I would be so grateful. And then we are almost ready to go. Winnie, welcome. If you could mute yourself, you can do so by clicking the top right corner of your screen. There's 3 little buttons. If you can click on that and press mute, that would be most appreciated. Thank you. Okay, you guys, it is 9 o'clock my time in Jackson Hole, Wyoming. I know it's 8:30 p.m. in India, where Kumarji and the O&O Academy are coming streaming live to us. So we have people, I believe, all over the world, all over the country joining us, and I'm sure some more will join as we get going. But I first want to welcome each and every one of you. I'm so grateful that you show up for yourself to continue this healing process, right? If you have followed me for a while, which I think most of you have, you know that I talk about inflammation and how to heal our body, heal chronic symptoms in our body by melting inflammation away. And we do that through diet, we do it through lifestyle, and experience amazing, profound benefits, and very often actually see the reversal of symptoms in our body, which is so amazing. But there is another piece to the puzzle, and really quickly, I will just share with you my story. About 6 years ago, I was diagnosed with a severe parasite infection, so bad that the parasites had put holes through most of my organs, eaten away some of my endocrine glands, and they actually had completely sabotaged my body. I also had 4 strains of Lyme disease, and this one undiagnosed for about 20 years. So they had really done a lot of damage. When I found out that I had parasites and I began to kill them, I knew nothing about them. What I learned was that they release massive amounts of neurotoxins. It was like drinking bleach, and my body couldn't process it. My organs were structurally damaged, and so I began to go into organ failure. I'm going to pause here for a moment. If you are not muted, please mute yourself. And let's make sure there's no background noise. So as I went in this healing journey, I was bedridden for 2 years at one point in time, really unable to work, unable to be a mom, unable to be a wife, a friend. My life completely collapsed. And what happened was I healed greatly, so much, by working with alternative practitioners, by following anti-inflammatory eating, by adopting anti-inflammatory living. But this one day, I went to a course put on by the O&O Academy, and it was called Beautiful State. And I've attended many courses in India that the O&O Academy puts on, and also nationally in the USA, because they put on a lot of courses here. But this one course I attended where we were able to discover some of our subconscious thoughts. And in this process, I actually saw a specific moment, a specific subconscious thought I had had, which essentially brought forth immense frustration, shame, anger, resentment, hatred towards my body. And all of these outside experiences that I had had during my lifespan from when I was 7 years old until present, I saw how the outside experiences that I had, which were not in my favor, right? These experiences that made me feel less than ideal, made me not feel very happy. I was blaming them on my body. I blamed these on my body. And so throughout my entire life, there were this continuous, chronic, negative self-talk towards my body. Once I saw this, at the O&O Academy, they say to see is to be free. And I have to say that once I saw this, I was able to experience the most amazing and authentic gratitude that I've ever felt in my life. And the gratitude was for my body being able to show up, continually heal, continually keep me alive so that I could have each moment and day with my children, so I could stay alive and experience the beauty of life, even when I chronically was saying the most horrific, hatred, shameful, terrible things towards my body. It was an incredible experience. And I told the instructor at the time, something's happened. I don't know what has happened, but something has happened. I feel this healing. I feel this openness in my body. And so you guys, I went home, and for the first time in 5 years, I was able to exercise 10 days in a row. Before, if I'd exercise 2 or 3 days in a row, I'd be knocked down in bed for weeks at a time. And not only was I able to exercise, I felt great. I told my kids, sure, you can have a sleepover. I went on date night with my husband. I did gardening work and yard work. I had all this energy. And so I called one of my practitioners who had followed me along this entire path. And I said, I don't know what's happened, but we need to do some testing because I feel like an entirely different person. And what they did was they tested me, and they said, I cannot believe this, but the autoimmune condition in your body is no longer showing up. You guys, the autoimmunity that had come on due to the Lyme parasites was no longer in my body. And it was a momentary, from one moment it was there, and 10 days later, when I called my practitioner and we did some tests, it was gone. Many doctors will tell you that you cannot heal from an autoimmune condition. They will tell you it's impossible. And I'm here to tell you my experience is very different. And while I know that anti-inflammatory eating and living was a huge piece that supported, I took action to support my healing. There was this other piece of our subconscious thoughts of melting inflammation from, melting stress from the body so that we can move into a beautiful state that made all the difference. And so without further ado, I'm so excited, deeply touched and honored. You guys have no idea how lucky you are to be receiving this class from Kumarji, who is one of the senior faculty members at the O&O Academy. The O&O Academy is a philosophy school out of India, which I've visited a number of times. And in fact, it is so profound, it's so sought after that even Tony Robbins goes there to experience his own guidance and teaching and wisdom. So it's a philosophy and meditation school for one consciousness. We'll explain what that is, but today, Kumarji is going to walk you through not only teachings, but also some experiences, some processes, so that you can begin to move into what they call a beautiful state, a place where stress melts away, a place where you can experience such incredible synchronicities in your life. And many of those synchronicities for me have been in regards to healing, not only for myself, but also for my family. So you're in for a real treat. With that, I want to introduce to you Kumarji. Please welcome my dear Kumarji. If you are here, I'm going to unmute you, Kumarji. I'm going to try to unmute you, Kumarji. Okay, you're unmuted. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining us.
Namaste.
Namaste.
So, thank you so much for introducing me to your community over there, Jenny, and very happy to be with all of you. I would be taking you through the next hour and 15 minutes, or a little over that, to talk a few things about health, as well as I would be talking about something about consciousness and the relationship between your consciousness and how one can really take control of transforming your consciousness so that you can witness a lot of synchronicities around your health. So this is a subject we'll be going around. So there'll be a little bit of a teaching. We will be taking you through small meditation sessions, and also we will take you through a small process. And also you would take back with you a very powerful meditation which can create such synchronicities in your life. So please be totally present here for the next 70 minutes. And I can tell you, this would remain as a memorable experience. And not only that, this will be the beginning point of a massive journey which you might have never expected to unfold in your life. So to talk a little bit about health to begin with. So let us understand health in our perspective, what it means. Let us first distinguish between the three different concepts that are floating around in the name of health. The first concept is fitness. The second concept is health. And the third concept is wellness. Fitness is the ability to perform athletic activity. Health, however, is a state where all the systems of your body are working in an optimal way, namely your nervous system, muscular system, your skeletal system or circulatory, digestive, etc., all the systems. Most people, they think fitness means health. But the truth is, what they don't know, or it necessarily need not go hand in hand. Of course, it is ideal to have both health and fitness. But by putting health first, you will always enjoy tremendous benefits in your life.
Kumarji is muted.
So I'm telling, if somebody is trying to put fitness at the expense of your health, then it is no good, because you may not live long enough to enjoy the spectacular of your physique or the athletic abilities you have developed by doing the fitness. So it's good if you can really be healthy and fit. That's a very, very enjoyable life. But you must know these two are two different things. Coming to the third concept that goes around health is wellness. This is a well heard word. Wellness, on the other hand, is about not merely your body, it's about your body, your mind, and consciousness all working in harmony, or all working as one unit. So within the mind, there should be a harmony between various personalities. But unfortunately, we are very divided into number of personalities which are at constant loggerheads with each other, and hence a constant nagging inner conflict lingers in most of our heads. But when you could achieve a kind of integration of these personalities, when you can achieve a kind of a harmonious relationship between these personalities, then there is a return to what we call as a psychological well-being. Within the body, when all the organs that are functioning, because no organ is functioning independent. Every organ is dependent upon the functioning of one other organ. So when each organ, when they must go in harmony with the other, let us say, for example, if you have your nervous system and if you have your digestive system, to produce the right enzymes for the good digestion, you should get the signals from the brain, which means the nervous system must work properly so that your digestive enzymes are produced at the right time for making the right digestion to produce the energy that is required. Or let's say your food that's going to be brought into your cells to be burnt in the mitochondria. If at all, if your cell is not working properly, the doorways or the receptor cells will not open up for the food to get inside. Then also, if the signaling is not proper, then again it doesn't function well. So the well-being of the body is, you must understand, every organ, since it is connected with every other organ, it's very important. Whenever there is a kind of oneness between the organs, then we can say it is the wellness of your body, or it can be called as health. So coming to consciousness, we will learn a little more deep about this consciousness a little later. But in the context of this concept of well-being, whenever you evolve in your consciousness from that of limitedness into limitless consciousness, then what would happen is there would be a well-being in the aspect of consciousness. When there is a harmony and oneness about the organs, the wellness of the body. When there is a harmony between the personalities inside you, it is a wellness of your mind. When there is an evolution in your consciousness from limitedness to limitlessness, it is a wellness about your consciousness. When this body, your mind, and your consciousness, when all these three things are in a kind of a harmony or in a state of oneness about each other, then that is called the overall well-being of a human being. So there is such a depth for this wellness, but unfortunately, we use wellness for health, we use fitness for health, we use the health tips for health. But you must understand these three things are three different concepts that are around health. So are you clear up to here? So now let us get to the physical health. So let us now stick on to physical health and let us see the implications and what we can do about it. And also let us see how all we can approach the physical health from various dimensions. So whenever there is a particular health issue, it could be a very minor issue like headache or cold, or it could be as fatal as having AIDS or some very dreadful disease, or very intense cancer of the fourth grade or the ultimate grade. Whatever the disease is, to heal the disease or to remedy you from the disease, you must understand there is no one way. There can't be one single approach to all diseases and to all people, because the cause of the disease or the cause of illness being varied, the remedies too should be varied. Thus, every form of treatment has its own science and its own validity. What works for few may not work for all. But at O&O Academy, our approach is multidimensional. Our work is multidimensional. So we are going to see a little bit here today. And then of course you must know, if you want to have the well-being which is highest, if you want the harmony of the mind or the well-being of the mind, and further less is if you want to have a good health, our approach towards that is multidimensional. We may have to work on the physical dimension. We may have to work at the psychological dimension. We may have to work at the emotional dimension. And we may have to work on the social dimension. We may have to work on the karmic dimension. And we may have to work on the spiritual dimension. Among the innumerable aspects that demand attention, we are going to look a little about the physical dimension in this call today, because it will be too much if I have to speak everything on one go. That's why I say this is the beginning point of a vast and an extraordinary journey. So be very clear, this is the beginning point of your journey. But I'm 100% sure once you get to feel, understand and feel and experience something here, it will be irresistible for you not to take part at the academy, because academy is such a vast and a fantastic thing which brings about a wholeness and a completeness for your life. In fact, a completeness for a dynamic life. So what is that we're going to look in the physical dimension of the health? Well, these things you might have heard before, but in this context, it makes a lot of relevance. Okay. The physical dimension of health, there are so many things that you can take care of, but there are 4 very important features that are very big. Number 1, diet. Number 2, exercise or movement. Number 3, your lifestyle. Number 4, your environment. So let's look into each one of it a little bit. Well, the moment the word said diet, Immediately it gets associated with various forms of starving and eating insipid and tasteless foods from which one is waiting to jump out and has usually been adopted towards acquiring an attractive physique. So let us discuss diet not merely from the point of view of your fitness, but from the point of view of health and wellness as well. Well, I don't want to give you a lecture on the diet because you might by now might have heard from innumerable sources about this. But I will tell you a little few principles involved in this, which might help you to make some decisions about your diet. We won't advocate what to eat, what not to eat, but we would just want to educate you on the principles which can guide towards a healthy body. See, the health of the body is determined by the relationship the various body parts maintain amid themselves. And basically, it is the instructions and the information flow between the various organs of the body, and more importantly, the perception of that information that is responsible for health. Illness is essentially due to the failure of the information network between the various organs and the systems. See, the purpose of food, besides providing you energy and maintaining and repairing the body, it is to keep this information flow in a proper way throughout the body. So the diet, when we are talking in the context of having a proper flow of information between the organs to the brain and from brain to your organs. And as we all know, the body functions like the digestion, circulation, the body complexion, height, the body mass, all are determined by various hormones and enzymes that are secreted in the body. And of course, the release of these hormones and enzymes are dictated by the genes, and which are directly affected by the food that you consume. So the science has discovered that a change in the kind of food you eat can affect almost 10,000 genes, which goes without saying that food is by far one of the greatest medicines. Of course, you all know this theory that the fuel we take mostly consists of the fat, carb, and protein. But a proper balance between these things will ensure a return to a good health and vigor and vitality in your life. Intake of the right form of nutrition help your genes to rightly express themselves, which means there will be a proper communication between the body organs, which will reverse you or take you back into good health. So this is about your diet. Now, coming to movement. You take the physical body with a growing virtual living. So the life has slowly turned, though the human being has begun his life deep in the waters, as some people conceptualize. And then on the treetops, then getting onto the land, into the cave, and came out, nomads, settled down, all these things. That's how the human evolution has happened, according to some people. Man has never been stationary, or humanity as a species, we are never stationary. But with the various things that are happening around, slowly our evolution and our lifestyle, everything is taking towards we becoming more and more stagnant, stable, immobile for most of the time. So when movement reduces, it's not a good news, because exercise is so very important. If you really exercise in the sense, movement basically, the body needs movement. Only in that movement, it would be able to produce the required secretions so that there'd be a good harmony for the various organs of the body. That's why exercise is so important, or movement is so important. Then coming to the lifestyle, well, if you observe nowadays, you can see we are not having a proper kind of sleep patterns. Our lifestyles have changed over time because of, we can't blame anyone for that, the system as well as humans. We are not here to blame anyone, but we are here to observe what's going on in the world and with us, so that we pause a second to watch what's going on, so that we understand ourselves better and we can come up with the right solution for the challenges that are standing there. So coming to the lifestyle, slowly our lifestyles have slowly drifted off and our circadian rhythms are no more in play. That is, our biological clocks are well disturbed. That's why many people suffer from insomnia and lot of problems with sleep disorders, which is not a good news. And not only that, whenever you're being stressed, the nature has endowed us to cope up with stress within 1.5 minutes. 90 seconds is the time that your body can take on stress, because for certain things in life you need stress. In that 1.5 minutes, what happens is your entire body will shut down most of its systems, and wherever there is stress, it'll give the entire energy to that part of the body to heal it and cope up with it. But unfortunately today, it's not happening now and then, but most of the time we are in the stress, which means we are pushing the bar so much. So on an ongoing regular basis, your system is shutting down and switching on and shutting down and switching on for so many times in a day, which is not built for that, which is basically beginning to shut down your organs permanently. That's one reason for your lot of ill health. That's why they say most of your problems are psychosomatic. We'll go about it. We'll learn about why it happens. Okay. So the lifestyle is very important, where you need to make your own amends to make sure. I can only explain you the importance of it. It is up to you to design how you will make your amends about your life. Then, of course, the environment. The environment in which you live, the way you keep your house, the way you conduct yourself in your workplace, the way you are around, the things around will influence you and impact you. Make sure in your purview, whatever best you can do to keep your environment as calm, as pollution free, as plastic free, and as happy as possible, so that you have a good health. So this is with regards to your physical health. Your physical health is also very much influenced by the emotional distress. So there are studies which says in the coming years from 2020 to 2025, the biggest epidemic ever humanity has ever seen would be the depression. It's being believed that more than 80% of the population will be drooped in depression. And that is not the scary thing. Most scary thing is, it so happens when that much is going to be the epidemic of depression, the children that are born of such parents are prone to have such a possibility of depression is going to be almost 80% in 100 are going to be depressed, the kids, which means you're going to produce depressed humanity. And you know what are the possibilities when people are depressed, what all can happen. So we are actually in a very, very grave situation. These are not what I'm assuming. These are WHO, World Health Organization, have set out these papers. This data is given by them. And much more worrisome thing is, hitherto they thought whatever impressions are made genetically, because this is almost going to become an epigenetic phenomenon or epigenetic program in the kids, because it gets transmitted to the genes and they are very much prone to get depressed. And by the way, hitherto the discovery was it almost takes 7 generations to fade off that epigenetic program. But now, recently, they discovered it is not 7 generations, it's going to be 28 generations, which is like humanity is doomed. Are you able to understand the gravity of? See, we are here not talking about the health of you, we are talking the health of humanity. Academy here stands for the cause of what we can do for the sake of humanity. Of course, it begins with an individual, but later it will translate to help the entire humanity. But let us open our eyes wide to ensure and to see ourselves. Where are we standing with regards to health and wellness about our human bodies? Just close your eyes for a second. Bring your awareness to your breath. Inhale through your nose. Exhale through your mouth. Look at your own life. Look at the various situations where you have fallen ill. Also look at your family, your friends, and your society that is falling sick so frequently. Now take a deep breath. Let me gently open your eyes. See, whenever we are having emotions of stressful states, sadness, irritability, they would be interfering with your natural capacity to enjoy life. And most of these emotional imbalances have been found to be the results of the unmet nutritional needs, malfunctions in our brain body chemistry, and unquestioned perceptions. And also, science has shown today that every emotion has a corresponding chemical reaction happening in the brain. So, when you experience these emotional states, emotional stressful states, the hypothalamus would release chemicals and a complex amino acids called neuropeptides, which thereafter are pumped into the bloodstream via the pituitary. And these neuropeptides reach the various organs of the bloodstream. And they reach the cells and get locked up in the cell receptors. And once this happens, these cells become very immune to any form of nutrition and nourishments. And further, of course, these cells will multiply to create similar unhealthy cells. And that's when people will be prone to run down emotion. They will be run down with emotions, often prove that nothing works for them. No medication or treatment works for them. Because the body by nature has been designed for experiencing not these emotional states. Our bodies have been designed for experiencing beautiful states like love, bliss, joy. Of course, it knows little fear and a struggle for survival. But unfortunately, the amount of stressful states that we're experiencing is abnormal or such huge proportions that it's being owing to several challenges. We are only triggering the chemistry of the brain that deals with emotions such as fear, loneliness, frustration, irritation, anger, these things. The result is that our brain is getting exhausted and it's bringing forth an imbalance of these transmitters and the hormones in the limbic system. And hence, we are becoming very, very emotionally reactive. And however, it is possible to activate those parts of the brain that can actually change these emotions to stressless or into beautiful feelings. That's what we're going to learn today. So now we have seen the problem. We have seen in two perspectives. At a physical level, it manifests as illness. But the dynamics of it is mostly at a physical level, we don't follow right kind of a food, which impacts. No movement, which impacts. No proper lifestyle, impacts. No good environment, impacts. While this is one part, these can be amended with little caution and becoming conscious. But what we're going to deal now is something totally different. We are going to see the other approach of seeing how the stressful states and emotional imbalances are causing the ill health and reactive emotions in you, which in turn are disturbing your physical health. So today we are going to address that part where Krishnaji and Preethaji, the founders of O&O Academy, are coming up with a very powerful solution for that. If you are interested if you are interested to know it and learn it and want to adapt it into your lives. So do you want it? I think hopefully yes. Good. So at Academy, we talk about synchronicities. So what I'm going to talk now is something not a conventional science, but definitely something totally new, something which you have never heard before. We talk about what are called the synchronicities. Synchronicities around your physical health and physical body. A synchronicity is a serendipitous happening. It's a fortunate stroke of events. Well, some people may call it luck or chance. Some may call it grace. Whatever name you give it, synchronicities are events that happen in perfect alignment with your heart's deepest intentions. It would be as if the whole universe is supporting you with what you want to achieve and where you want to reach. These can be in the realm of your physical health, or it can be about your abundance and prosperity. It can be about your relationship, or it can be about your success. It could be about your career. It could be about your marital life. It could be about your anything. See, synchronicities can happen anywhere. But today we are going to look at it in the context of your physical health. But what we teach is very general. Let me tell you an example to understand what a synchronicity is. One day, one of our friends, she has taken her 9-year-old son for surfing. As this boy was surfing, a jellyfish stung him and he began to choke. And it was a very lonely beach with no one around. On the same day, another surfer on the beach has decided to walk into a pharmacy to pick up a bottle of Benadryl. And he just said, in case my wife got into some cough, I can use it. With that thought, I have walked into the pharmacy and picked it up. So he arrives into the remote beach to see the boy choking for breath. The mother was looking around for help, and this man shows up. And he opens the bottle of Benadryl and drowns it down the boy's throat. And rushes them to the hospital. Even before the boy reaches the hospital, he's totally recovered. So these kind of synchronicities, these kind of happenings do happen in every one of our lives, isn't it? Even you too would have had this kind of synchronicities, may not be in health, or could be happen some other occasion or some other occasion. Now, the question is, randomly, sporadically happening once in a while is something. But the question now, what we are rising up is, can we generate a life where synchronicities can be a regular happenings in our life? That's what the O&O Academy is going to offer you. A synchronicity is as if the universe is arranging itself in a magical patterns to fulfill your heart's deepest longings. Then you might ask, why do we need synchronicities? So despite all the knowledge and the skills we have, all the information we possess and the strategies we apply, and all the effort and opportunities, there are still solutions that elude us. There is progress that gives us a slip, and you begin to feel that all you needed was that little piece of luck or fortune, many a times, isn't it? So luck is random, and what if you needed something more than that? What if there is a way in which you can make luck happen? That's what we're talking about. What if there is something inside of you that can make this luck happen? So let us see what causes a synchronicity to happen. That is, what should come in you or what should happen to you if you want to have synchronicities happen around in your life. So in our observation, Synchronicities doesn't flow or doesn't happen when you are desperate or when you are frustrated and angry. Obviously, no. They happen when you are in a very serene state of being. And they happen to us in a moment of relaxation, in a moment of calm, and in a state of serene acceptance. If you reflect, you would know it's in those moments of serenity the magic happens. But the problem is, most of us don't know how to make it happen. So let us put it this way. The key to synchronicity is the beautiful state. If you can consciously nurture this beautiful state, you can consciously create abundance of synchronicities in your life. But if you want to really nurture this beautiful state, in the first place, you must know where you stand. As long as you don't know where you stand, as long as you don't know where exactly you are, how do you make this journey? So let me share with you an example. Once upon a time, there were 4 students of a great teacher who were walking through a forest. They were adepts in various arts and sciences. Soon they came across a heap of bones. The first fellow said to the other, "Look, with the power of my learning, I can gather these bones and make them into a skeleton." The fourth fellow said, "Hey, pause before you do it." But the first one did not listen. Lo and behold, he turned it into a skeleton. The second fellow said, "Look, with the power of my learning, I can make these bones grow flesh and meat." The fourth fellow again said, "Please, at least pause now." Second fellow did not listen. Lo and behold, within moments, he turned it into a carcass of lion. Now it is the turn of the third fellow. He said, "Look, with my power of learning, I can breathe life into this carcass." The fourth man, being intelligent, he tried to warn the third fellow and asked him to pause, but his words were not heeded. The third man was intending upon proving his learning, so the fourth one climbed upon a huge tree to save himself. As soon as the third fellow breathed life into the lion, it sprang into action and in less than a minute killed all the 3 learned fools. So this story is a reflection of what happens within our minds. So we don't observe, we don't pause and observe what's going on within our thinking. And as we give in, it becomes an emotion. When we don't observe our emotion, it becomes our temperament. When we don't observe our temperament, it leads us into impulsive actions and therefore creates a life we do not like for ourselves and for our loved ones. So you must know you need to pause. You need to learn the art of pausing. Only when you pause to see what is happening, you will observe where you stand. When you want to act a particular way, pause and inquire. When you are giving into your habitual temperament, pause and inquire. When you are giving into your emotion, pause and inquire. When you are giving into a particular way of thinking, please pause and inquire. Base your inquiries on 3 grounds. Check out. Is this leading me into stress or well-being? Is it leading me into separation or connection? Is this based on facts or prejudice? The first thing you need to do is you must pause from this inner rush. Just close your eyes. This meditation helps you to pause, and which gives you a possibility of a beautiful life. So do you want to learn this simple meditative practice of which will teach you to pause? Close your eyes for a few moments. If you don't want to, you could focus on the place on the floor in front of you with your open eyes too. Take 3 slow and deep breaths. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. And for the next 3 breaths, we will consciously smile as we exhale. Inhale. As you're exhaling, smile. Let your lips expand. Inhale. As you exhale, smile. Along with your lips, let your cheeks join the smile. Inhale. Exhaling, smile. Along with your lips and cheeks, let your eyes join the smile. Like a lotus that blossoms to the early morning sun, let a beautiful smile blossom on your face. Keep breathing easy. Gently bring your palms to your heart. Hold your smile easy on your face. And let you take the last 3 breaths with your eyes closed. Inhale. Exhaling, say to yourself, I am at peace. Inhale. Exhaling, say to yourself, I am in joy. Inhale. Exhaling, say to yourself, I feel love within. Now, slowly open your eyes. So now let us listen to the founder Preetaji talking about the beautiful state and the suffering state. And to have synchronicities in life, how important is the beautiful state. So let us listen to Preetaji now.
We saw that the secret behind opening up to synchronicities is a beautiful state. What is a beautiful state? All of humanity forever has lived only in two states of being, either in a suffering state or a no suffering state. You can also say it as a stressful state or a beautiful state. That the true purpose of spirituality is to help you move away from a limiting state and help you live in a beautiful state. What is a suffering state or a stressful state? A state where you feel small, where you feel lost, separate, isolated, and unpleasant. Where there is incessant conflicting noise, thought noise, where there is anger, fear, or anxiety, stress, loneliness, sadness. These are stressful states or suffering states. When you are in them, you feel disconnected, you feel conflicted, and you are unclear. You feel rushed and you feel lost. They hurt you and they hurt others. What then is a beautiful state? A beautiful state is vastly more than an emotional high. It is greatly more than a cheerful attitude. It is not about what is on display to others. It is your actual inner state. It is a state of joy, love, connection, compassion, bliss, ecstasy, courage, calm. And in a beautiful state, there is total absence of inner conflict, inner noise, and chaos. Your thinking is clear, like a still lake, at the bottom of which you can see pebbles and the many-colored fish. Your actions are free of all confusion and self-doubt. They are clear and decisive. You feel connected to yourself and you feel connected to another. While in a beautiful state, you're able to be completely present to the moment. You're able to be fully present to people around you. A beautiful state is the foundation for a beautiful life. So pause for a moment again. Hold a gentle smile at the corner of your lips and take 3 deep breaths. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale.
So you may gently open your eyes. Now let us ask a question to ourselves. Do we want synchronicities all the time in our life? If so, what is that I need to do for it? Well, there are 3 kinds of pursuits about this. Number 1 pursuit. The first pursuit is you'd like to change your actions. But you'll be only dreaming of changing your actions, but never act upon it. It's called a very inferior pursuit. The second category is you are inspired after this call. You would be ready to do anything, but soon your habitual patterns or habitual thinking will drag you back into the lazy way of not doing things, which is an ordinary pursuit, which most often most of us do. But some people, they go through what is called very few, not only they want to change their actions, but they want to really change their destiny by focusing to transform their inner state. They would like to change not only actions, but they not only get involved in it, but they want to change the inner state itself. That is the higher pursuit. So in order to transform your inner state, actions are very superficial. Little better is the thinking and emotions, but far more deeper are transforming your inner state or your consciousness itself. So in order to transform your consciousness, so that you would begin to live, you transform your inner state from that of suffering state to beautiful state. When you start learning to live in a beautiful state, you will naturally be connected. The whole universe will be ready to do synchronicities or manifest synchronicities in your life. So in that context, I would like to teach you today a very, very powerful meditation practice that is designed by Preethaji called the Great Soul Sync Practice. If you can do this soul sync practice, it takes hardly 9 to 10 minutes, 10 to 10 minutes maximum. But you would witness that your inner state is transforming that from your stressful, suffering state into a beautiful state. This consists of 6 steps, but this gives you 3 great spiritual gifts. The gift 1 is it can move you into a beautiful state of calm and expansiveness. The second gift is it's a very powerful practice to manifest your heartfelt intentions. The third is it can lead you into an experience of presence of the universal intelligence connecting to you. So you must understand, soul sync practice is not about positive thinking, but it is a power of your own expanded consciousness that leads you into manifestation of synchronicities. When you do the soul sync, you hold one intention at a time, and you want to manifest more, you can do several times the soul sync practice because it hardly takes only 9 to 12 minutes. This is the best spiritual gift you can give to yourself and as well as to others. So before learning and doing this great soul sync practice, let us listen to one of the participants at the academy who had immensely benefited by doing soul sync, moving into a beautiful state, how it has impacted his health condition. Listen in his own words now.
My name is Michael Shoemate. Recently, prior to attending a Oneness Partners course, I noticed a growth on my left cheek. It had progressed rapidly, so I wanted to see my dermatologist before I went to India. When I did, he agreed that it was, in fact, a precancerous growth, and he used a freezing spray on it that and then prescribed some medication for me. And I began applying that medication a few days before I left for India. It grew rapidly into a large, black, charred scab that extended about 1/4 of an inch off of the surface of the skin. It was horrible. You can see by the redness, where the redness was, it was much more than that. And I kept applying this, actually was misapplying the cream that he gave me that he said would activate my body's immune system to expel whatever wasn't killed by the freeze. After about a week of this, and with this scab continuing to get uglier, and he did say it was going to be ugly, but getting uglier and pussy looking and such like that. And then the whole left side of my face started to swell and it started to go up into my tear duct. And I said, you know, I think something's not right here. So I stopped using the stuff. A friend, another oneness partner, had some antibiotic cream, which I started applying. And for the next week, nothing changed. Two significant things happened while on the course. The first was when we were staying at Campus 3, we had the divine instilled in our heart, locked in, permanently locked into our heart. We transferred to the O&O campus in near Chennai, and the first day that we were there, we learned the soul sync meditation. This was about 4 days before it was time to leave. At the end of the soul sync meditation, you can make a single request for something to manifest and my request, my intention was that my face heal. 4 days later, by the time we were ready to leave, my swelling had gone down completely. The scab was flush with the face, and the blackness had dried out and was starting to flake off. It was just a little tiny spot about the size of a dime by the time we left. 3 days after I got back, I saw my dermatologist. It was completely healed, and he said, what I have now, which is what you see right here, is new skin, as if I had a dermal treatment, like a face peel that women do sometimes. And that it's just brand new skin, and in a matter of the next 3 or 4 months, it'll just become totally normal looking. So that is my experience with Soul Sync and my first miracle with Soul Sync, of which I've had many. Thank you very much.
So this is one of thousands of testimonials, because any synchronicity is possible. The key is it happens so quick and so powerfully, so magically. So you are going to learn the soul sync practice, which you can forthwith start doing it. Later on, Jenny will be providing a link of the website where you can go and download this and you can start practicing to create magic. So the soul sync practice, step 1, you would practice 8 conscious breaths. And as you move from one breath to other, you keep counting with your fingers like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. With both the hands, you'll be counting on the count of 8. And when you do this first step, it's going to be just deep breathing inside and outside. This would actually activate your parasympathetic system, which calms your entire rhythm of the body and brings a kind of serenity. And then the second stage is deep inhalation. And as you're exhaling, you would be making a humming sound like a bee. That way. Because when you do this, your sinus will produce a nitric oxide, which has this ability to calm down your higher pulse, higher blood pressures to come down. So it has a very, very significant thing. The third stage, you will observe the breath pauses between every inhalation ending and the exhalation beginning. There's a pause, a very small pause. You need to bring observation to those pauses. When you do this, consciously, if you bring this observation to the breath pauses, it will actually reduce your blood pressures. Okay. And the fourth stage of meditation would be about going beyond the calm into expansion. That is, you breathe in, and as you're exhaling, you would chant what is called aham or I am, which means I am limitless consciousness. And each of these steps you do it for 8 times. It's stage 5 of the meditation. You will imagine your body expanding into light, into a field of consciousness, the floor, the table, the people, everything dissolving into that golden light, and you expanding and being in a field of limitless consciousness. The sixth stage, you will immerse yourself into that space of limitless consciousness. You can feel, see, or imagine in your heart whatever you want. It be a health miracle, you want something with relationship, whatever it is, hold an intention there. In that state, the magic happens. So shall we do this soul sync practice together? So it will be guided vocally by Preetaji's recording, which you can actually download later from the website. So you can sit keeping your spine erect. Just close your eyes. We shall do the soul sync practice together.
Sit erect with your hands resting on your thighs and your palms facing upwards. The tip of your thumb touches the tip of your index finger. We will begin with observation. Breathe slowly and be totally present to every inhalation and exhalation. For every breath you take, touch your thumb to the tip of one finger. So for the first breath, touch the thumb and the index finger of both your hands. For the second breath, thumb and the middle finger, and so on. In this manner, you will take 8 complete breaths. If during a particular breath your mind wanders, keep touching the finger and bring your attention back to breath. Let us begin. Let us move on to the next phase of the soul sync meditation. Inhale deeply, and as you exhale, you will make a humming sound like a bee. Your hum must be strong enough to create a vibration in your head. Please pay total attention to the sound. Each time you hum, you will touch the tips of your fingers with your thumb, and we will do this 8 times, just like the previous step. Let us move on to the next phase of the soul sync. When you breathe slowly, there occurs a very natural pause between every inhalation and exhalation. It is a very minute pause. Bring attention to that point where inhalation ends and exhalation begins. Again, you will keep count of your breaths by touching your fingertips. You will observe 8 breath pauses in this manner. Let us move into the fourth phase of the soul sync. In this stage, you will internally chant the mantra Aham. Do it very slowly for 8 times. Inhale slowly, and on your exhale, whisper to yourself Aham. Keep touching your fingertips slowly as you do this. Or the manifestation of any one intent that you may have in your heart. Visualize and feel as if it is already happening right now, and feel that total sense of fulfillment and joy. Whenever you are ready, take a deep breath. You may open your eyes. Thank you. Namaste.
So you may gently open your eyes. So you can start practicing it regularly. Apart from whatever you do to make your health better at a physical dimension, but transforming your inner state, which is a higher pursuit, using the soul sync practice, you can begin to move into a beautiful state. And from a beautiful state, you will be able to make the entire universe help you. Synchronicities to happen in your life with regards to your health. It could be about wealth, it could be about relationship or anything. So you can download the soul sync practice and continue to do that. And you want more information, you can talk to Jennifer. She will be giving you more information about this. And by the way, if you want to learn more about O&O Academy and what it can offer you, there's a free webinar coming Saturday. So if you're willing, you can join that. It goes for 3 hours, where we'll be focusing on wealth. So that will give you a greater idea and an impression and experience of what O&O Academy can bring into your lives. So this is a beginning point. It opens up a whole new world of synchronicities and happening in your life. So thank you so much, Jenny, for organizing this. Thank you everyone for coming onto this call. Hopefully I'll be seeing you in the power of being again.
Thank
Namaste.
you. Namaste.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Namaste. Thank you.
I will be following up with everyone an email for these links. There's so much amazing offerings, both online and just in the United States alone, a bunch of incredible courses. So we'll make sure to get all that information for you. Have a beautiful day, everyone. Thank you, Kumarji. Thank you, Barbara. Bye.